You are about to start the audio playback of PESTLE Analysis. Introduction. The company and its environment. Characterized by an ever-changing environment, our current society differs in many ways from what it was before. Adapting to the changing and competitive environment has now become a necessity for any manager wanting to keep their business afloat and help it to prosper in the coming years. The environment, macroeconomic dimension, has actually proven itself to be a source of both opportunities and threats for any company on the market, regardless of their industry or sector. Therefore, a confirmed anticipation of the lambda macroeconomic phenomenon will soon provide a direct competitive advantage for the manager, if this allows them to react efficiently before their competitors. On the other hand, if a manager underestimates a momentous event in the market, they will quickly find themselves struggling against competitors whose forecasts are more complete, as they will have to face their competitive and aggressive strategies. For example, companies that did not anticipate the expansion and opportunities offered by the internet in time had a hard time at the turn of the millennium. As the ability to predict certain future events seems to be the key to the success, good development, and even, in some cases, the survival of a company, there are always people who claim, after a change in the environment, that the indicators were inevitably moving in that direction anyway. Yet anticipating these indicators is far from easy, and nobody has a crystal ball for predicting the future. It is in this context of uncertainty that the PESTLE analysis has appeared, aiming to identify and analyze the macroeconomic variable relevant to an organization in a specific environment. Definition of the model. The analysis was given the name PESTLE in reference to the acronym formed by the initials of the 6 categories of macroeconomic variables included in the model: political, economic, socio-cultural, technological, legal, and environmental. Firstly, the model allows managers to identify the macroeconomic variables to take into consideration for the development of the business, opportunities versus potential risks, whose likelihood is still relatively uncertain. Then, the model can help the manager to start conceptualizing different scenarios based on these uncertain variables, to better predict what might happen and make the right decisions now for the future. Theory. Context and concept. The origin of the PESTLE analysis remains relatively unclear. However, some authors agree that the first traces of its appearance can be found in the book by Francis J. Aguilar, Scanning the Business Environment, 1967. At that time, the model was called the PEST analysis, which corresponds to the initial categories of macroeconomic variables: political, economic, socio-cultural, and technological. It was used and perfected during the 1970s.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?